What about Gabe Davis? We going over to that side. And DJ, I'm going to start with you with Gabe Davis because you saw him great. And I remember us talking about it. What do you got on him?
Yeah, so Gabe Davis, because he's so tall, there's a little bit of cynicism. There's a little skepticism when he walks out on the mound because you don't see guys like this. Chris Young, maybe. How big is he? Is he 6'8", 6'9"? This guy's huge. And I can only imagine what this looked like in high school when he might have been 20 pounds lighter, trying to control the long limbs. What I was surprised, before we get to the stuff, which is plenty good, I was surprised how easy he was in the strike zone, because when I went back and looked at some of his performance in the past, it's understandable why they developed him as a reliever. So with Davis, I don't know which direction this is going to go. I suspect at Oklahoma State, they give him a chance to start. And if he does, he can completely blow up. We took a guy that didn't work out years ago, Andrew Brackman, but he's a basketball player, and another really, really tall guy with really, really good stuff. I was really surprised and I got a really brief look. They brought him in relief. But he was in the strike zone with his pitches. The pitches were, everything that we hear about. It was 96. It's 97. He's got a slider. So it was really impressive to see him.
Big boy. Andrew Brackman, I played against him. NC State, I remember watching him in hoops. That was a big dude. He had like a funky split finger. It was filthy when it was on.
The thing with Davis, when you see these kind of guys, I remember a few years ago, who's the left-hander that went to Florida? Pierce Coppola, right?
Mm-hmm. He's still there.
Like, when you get these big, tall guys like this, you just don't see a lot of them in the big leagues for understandable reasons. It's really hard for them to get to their release point consistently. You're talking guys with really, really long levers. So with Davis, I found it interesting that he was able to get in the strike zone. It didn't look very difficult for him to get in the strike zone. And then the stuff was the stuff. So when he goes out, and if he can show the ability to start this year at Oklahoma State, you might have a supreme prospect. I don't think he's going to challenge Bremner. I'll put that out there right now. I don't think he challenges Bremner, but I do think that he's got an opportunity to really elevate his stock as we move into 2025.
We talk about those long frames. Let me put you guys on the hot seat with a fun question. At what point do you start ticking up to he's too tall? What is your threshold? Is it 6'6", 6'7", 6? When does it become, man, it's going to be tough to repeat these things? What is your personal gauging point of height? DJ, you first.
When he can't throw strikes. I guess you notice the body, but the big thing here is can the player repeat the long levers like I mentioned before? It's very, very difficult. I wasn't a pitcher, but I can imagine trying to find a consistent release point with that type of body is very, very difficult. And that's why you don't really see it. And I use that anecdotally. It's the player will tell you whether it's going to be a problem or not. And leading up into this year, you had a guess Gabe Davis might have some release point issues. He doesn't pound the strike zone. Maybe he's turned the corner here. And that's what I like so much when we talk about college players. Yeah, we need a roadmap. Yeah, we need to know who we're going to go out and see. But the spring defines what they are. That's the difference between college and high school. The summer carries most of the load for the high school player, specifically the high school hitter. Whereas the college player, we're going to see him so much. I don't know how many times Seif is going to see Gabe Davis, at least once next year, but there's a chance he runs into him twice or so. And the player is going to show us what he can do. So for me, those tall guys will show it.
Seif's now a disciple of the command center, so he'll see Gabe Davis on plenty of occasions with that Big 12 TV package.